Hello everybody and welcome to the Tuesday edition of Video Clips, and I'm going to start with a response that I got to last week's video clip on censorship that I think is worth reading to you and responding to. So here's what the email to me said. I love what you do and I have a great respect for you, and here's the but. I couldn't help but notice the irony of this video, and I think it would be wise to address it for a short moment on your next video. You talked about two things: how you choose to censor information in response to your videos, and that it's a right you have for the purpose of your business. And then you talked about how others are trying to censor free speech, like the vaccine issue, and you're critical of that. Seems a tad hypocritical. I don't have the answer for that because I understand your choice to not post everything, but I expect that you will again get a lot of comments about it. Thanks for all you do for us. So I did get some comments, and the first thing that I want to say is that if you would like for me to respond to something, I like nice, respectful letters like this. I'm curious, I don't understand, can you clarify? Instead of "you stupid witch, what the heck's the matter with you? I'm not watching or listening to you anymore. I don't like your hair." I mean, some of the things you people say, I don't know in what universe you think that that is the appropriate way to approach problems like this, but it's really not. So maybe you have some growing up to do. So since this person's a grown-up and asked me nicely, I am going to respond to it. And I'll start by saying there are distinct differences between media companies and reporters and social media sites versus what I do here on YouTube and what we do at my company, Wellness Forum Health. It is the job of the media to report the news and to do so with objectivity and accuracy. While we can all acknowledge that the size of the headlines, the placement of the articles, and the questions a reporter asks may be influenced by certain beliefs and biases, we count on the media to vet information before they print it or report it. Reporters have been fired for allowing inaccurate information to be made public. One of the most public or prominent episodes of this in recent history was when Dan Rather lost his very long-term job at the television station or the television network because he reported inaccurate information that couldn't be substantiated about George W. Bush. Today, the media is becoming less and less objective and reporting more and more false information. And I don't want to get into more details here because I assume that it will generate more hate mail from some of you, and I don't want to distract from the point that I'm trying to make. But this type of thing is dangerous because it damages reputations, and lives can be ruined when you falsely report all kinds of things that aren't true. There are some lawsuits working through the court right now based on this very issue, and I'm hoping that some of them cause enough pain for people who do terrible things in the media that this will stop and we can go back to just objective reporting. Social media sites are gathering places for people to make contact with one another and talk to one another. They're in essence another way for people to connect and share information, announcements, ideas, to form groups of like-minded people. They're digital versions of meeting places like coffee shops and libraries. You and I can meet at the coffee shop and talk about anything we want. We can also do this on Facebook. Nobody's standing in the doorway saying, if you're going to talk about vaccines today, you can't have coffee in this place. My company, Wellness Forum, and I, we're not a media company, and we're not a gathering place for the world. I'm not interested in gathering collections of ideas and comments from the general public and posting them and letting people sort out what they like and don't like, or charging people with figuring out what's accurate and what's not accurate. What we do here, we're a private enterprise, and we're in the business of filtering information through a process that we make public. We're considered a trusted source by both our subscribers and paid members because of the fact that we vet information. Allowing people to vent and post nonsense and stories and testimonials and links to websites that promote garbage and all that just dilutes my brand. There's no need for another garbage dump on the internet. There are plenty of them there. My site stands for something, my work stands for something, my company stands for something. And if you don't like what we stand for, you can discontinue subscribing or watching. There are plenty of other sites that you can find on YouTube and social media that you might like better, and that's the point of these platforms. They're a gathering place. They do not censor or filter. If Facebook decides to change its business model to one that is geared to sharing ideas approved by the government or by Mark Zuckerberg or anybody else who works there, they should announce it and then we can all leave and form another platform. I frankly don't know about you, but I'm really not interested in taking part in a platform that shares ideas approved by the government or Mark Zuckerberg or anybody else, the founder of YouTube, for example. So I think the key is that you just need to be very straightforward about what it is that you do. Well, this is not, what you're watching right now, this is not a community where everybody who has something to say carries equal weight, whether they can substantiate it or not, or venting, all that. That's not what's here. And for those of you who've been watching for a long time, if I started doing that, I think you would go away, because you really, like I said, you can Google something and come up with an endless number of unfiltered, unvetted, unqualified websites about all kinds of topics, particularly health. You don't need another place to do that. I don't want to be a place to do that. So that's what I'm doing here. You can like it, not like it. That's entirely up to you. And I'm not everybody's cup of tea, willing to acknowledge that, not trying to be. I don't think you can make everybody happy. And I think sometimes when you try to make everybody happy, you don't make anybody happy. And the person I have to make the happiest here is actually me, because when I'm out of integrity with myself, I'm a very unhappy little girl, and I don't like being in that situation, so I won't put myself there. All right, so that's my response to that, and it may not be what some of you want to hear. And if you do choose to respond to it, I welcome that. Please, no capital letters, no swear words, and you don't need to talk about my appearance, my mother, my ethnicity, or anything else. You could just leave all that out, and we could have a dialogue about it. I might be inclined to approve more comments if that were the case. All right, let's go on to some educational content, vetted, substantiated by science. This one has references at the end, like almost everything I do. We're going to talk about cough today, because there are all kinds of reasons for coughs and all kinds of medications for coughs, and people don't know if it's serious, not serious, should they do something, not do something. If my kid coughs, what should I do? So I'm going to attempt to answer that question here. A cough is the body's way of expelling mucus and irritants from the airways and preventing infection. Acute coughs last less than 3 weeks. A cough that lasts between 3 and 8 weeks is considered a subacute cough, and a cough that persists for more than 8 weeks is a chronic cough. Most coughs clear up on their own without intervention within a couple of weeks. And so the first thing to remember is that in medicine, there's a tendency to think that you have to do something about everything right now. And that's not always the case, and it doesn't always help. There are numerous causes of cough, one of which is pretty simple. You need to clear the throat. When mucus, foreign particles like smoke or dust enter the airways, coughing is a natural reflex to clear out the debris and facilitate breathing. Unless exposure to a toxin is constant, like smoking cigarettes, for example, this type of cough is infrequent and usually doesn't indicate that anything is wrong. Coughs often accompany conditions such as respiratory tract infections, like colds and flu. The cough usually clears up when the underlying condition is resolved. Asthma can cause coughing, which often involves wheezing, and that wheezing sound differentiates a cough associated with asthma from other types of coughs. Other conditions that can cause cough include damage to the vocal cords, postnasal drip, bacterial infections such as pneumonia and whooping cough, and heart failure. Both forms of reflux, both gastroesophageal reflux and silent reflux, can also cause cough. And in fact, a cough that you can't attribute to anything else is sometimes a sign of laryngoesophageal reflux or silent reflux. There are two types of coughs once you get beyond the causes. Dry, non-productive coughs are usually caused by irritation by substances like allergy, triggers, smoke, or pollution, or infectious diseases like cold and flu. Dry coughs can range in severity from occasional to persistent and dry hacking that interferes with your ability to do many things and even to sleep. Wet, productive coughs involve mucus, which is typically clear, but white, yellow, or green mucus indicates that there is probably an underlying infection. Many people seek relief from cough with over-the-counter or prescription cough remedies, which are generally ineffective. They seldom are very good for symptom relief. They don't shorten the duration of a cough or improve sleep. Some can cause side effects in people who have conditions like high blood pressure or congestive heart failure. Parents should be particularly cautious about giving cough medications to children. In October 2007, manufacturers voluntarily withdrew oral cough and cold medications sold over the counter for children 2 years of age and younger. Studies showed that the drugs were no more effective than placebo for kids under 12 years of age and caused significant numbers of visits to emergency rooms. Adverse events included depressed levels of consciousness and encephalopathy. The year after the drugs were withdrawn, both emergency room visits and calls to poison control centers declined significantly. In October 2008, the manufacturers announced that their labels would be revised to state that the drugs should not be used by children under the age of 4. And at that time, the American Academy of Pediatrics changed their recommendations to indicate that you shouldn't give cough and cold medications to children under the age of 6. Over-the-counter medications for cough are equally ineffective for adults. A Cochrane review determined that there was no good evidence for or against the use of over-the-counter medications for acute cough for either adults or children. The American College of Chest Physicians determined that one of the active ingredients in Robitussin and several other cough medicines, Mucinex, along with codeine and dextromethorphan, are ineffective for coughs due to the common cold. There are better options for addressing cough for both children and adults, just for relieving symptoms. You're not really going to change the duration in many cases, but honey has been shown to be more effective for cough and sleep than drugs, a cough suppressant, even though children under 12 months of age shouldn't have honey because of the very small risk of botulism. So honey has actually been proven in some studies to be more effective than drugs. A Cochrane review of 2 randomized controlled trials that included 265 children showed that honey was better than no treatment, slightly better than Benadryl, and as effective as Vicks Dayquil in reducing cough frequency. And honey is a lot better, I think, without so many side effects than those drugs. Licorice has been used in herbal medicine for hundreds of years to clear mucus from the respiratory tract and relieve cough. Slippery elm, comfrey, and mullein are other herbals effective for relieving dry cough. Slippery elm you can get in cough drop form. Comfrey is usually consumed as a tea. And mullein is available as a syrup, tincture, or lozenge. It is best to consult with a professional who knows something about these types of herbal remedies because they're contraindicated for some people. Mullein, for example, should not be consumed by pregnant or nursing women. One of the safest and most effective ways to treat a cough is saltwater gargle. Sometimes the simplest thing is actually the best. This reduces mucus and phlegm in the back of the throat. Another thing is steam inhalation. There are study results are kind of mixed on this. Some show benefits, some don't, but most people will report anecdotally that it makes them feel better and it reduces coughing. What it does is basically steam will clear out the passages, the airway passages, and help you to expel mucus more quickly. Hydration can help, and there's no evidence at all that suggests that drinking something warm has a better effect. Maybe it's just comforting to drink something warm, but most people say that when they have a cough, they'd rather have something warm, and it seems to help more than if they drink something cold. The efficacy of most interventions, as I mentioned earlier, is really limited to symptom control. The best thing for cough relief is really time and rest. So you're not going to make it go away much quicker, particularly if it's due to an underlying illness, but time and rest will take care of that. But you can make yourself feel better with things like honey and licorice or tea and that sort of thing. All right, hit the subscriber button and pass this on to anybody who you think would enjoy watching it, and I will be back to you on Thursday with more news.